Hey everyone, my name is Shah, and today we're going to be talking about OVR. I had the opportunity to speak to Diego Di Tommaso, and it was absolutely a pleasure to speak to him and talk about OVR, where they are, where they're going, and the roadmap they have ahead. I want to give a big shout out to Patch and Crypto Believers. That is their club on Clubhouse. You can also join my club on Clubhouse, crypto360.club. I just want to let you know I'm not affiliated to this project whatsoever, besides the fact that I've taught people how to buy it on Uniswap. After speaking to Diego, we found out some bullish news, such as they will be on gate.io in the upcoming days. In less than 3 days, was what I was told. And then we talked about things like augmented reality, virtual reality, Pokemon Go, having local and remote augmented experiences, whether that's me going to New York Times Square and pulling up my phone and having the augmented experience, or just in my living room having a remote augmented experience. They've gone as far as adding avatars, and they've gone as far as thinking into the future and making it frictionless, similar to how many different platforms in the NFT space have made it frictionless for people to purchase. That's what they want to do with their land. In addition, for other platforms, usually you have to pay a very, very high expensive fee to get the land. But OVR's goal is to bring on the entire world. You can buy your own land in your backyard for $10, and then if someone wants to be on your land, they have to pay a hosting fee, which you at the end of the day can go up to them and negotiate and change and set to whatever fixed fee that you want. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. They are just steps away from doing live events. And when I speak to Diego, it really seems that they have emphasis on tech and user experience. Now, just a week ago, when Bitcoin was going down, OVR was going to the sky. It went from $1 all the way up to $3. If we go back to 30 days ago, OVR was at 40 cents. And this is by no means financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not associated to the coin besides that I'm invested in it. So it was just a pleasure to speak to Diego, because it made me even more excited about a coin that has made me good profits. But hopefully in the future, if Diego's gracious enough, we can have him on this YouTube channel and ask him even more questions. We also have a 2-hour recording of the full Clubhouse session. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who was involved. We had over 500 people in the room, and it was really great speaking to Diego. He really has taken everything into consideration, and a lot of people asked him questions about price, and that wasn't his main focus. But what became very clear is that the reason they are coming to the forefront so quickly is because they have made it so interactive for the regular user, whether they're in crypto or whether they're just a regular person who wants to open a treasure chest hunt to get some free OVR, guys. So if you haven't yet, download the application and give it a try, and you tell me what you think. It reminds me of Pokemon Go and augmented reality, but I see so much more than that with OVR. I see digital real estate being one of the hottest topics in the entire world and ecosystem, and people are able to buy digital land across the world or right in their backyard. The local versus remote perspective that they have, to me, is absolutely visionary. And the fact that they are moving at this pace, to me, says it is bullish news. But at the end of the day, that is something you have to determine for yourself and really look into. When I spoke to Diego, he started talking about NLP, he started talking about AI, he started talking about artists and live events, and this made it very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. They're scratching the surface of bringing live events to reality. He said they were very, very close. He said that they were looking for artists to be a part of that type of platform. So if you're an artist, up and coming artist, and you want to test being on OVR, reach out and maybe we can get you in touch with Diego. Personally, I'm in the music space. So when he spoke to me about that in the middle of Clubhouse, it made me very excited because I have Persian artists where I have to put live concerts for them, 1 to 5 million followers. And since coronavirus, we have had to stop our live shows, but to create a new experience in augmented reality, from the land to the live events to having your own avatar, to be able to have a local event and a remote event. OVR is really trying to handle everything they can in the augmented world. I think it's very exciting. If you have any questions, please comment below. And if you find this information valuable, click that bell button and smash that like button so other people can see information like this. This was, I believe, Diego's first time on Clubhouse, so no one else has this content, which is just very exciting. Thank you for watching. I'm humbled to have been able to be a moderator on this, and I hope you enjoy these recordings. By the way, guys, it's going to be a long interview. I've tried to edit out a lot of it, and we have over 2 hours of it, but I've put a timeline below so you can skip to the parts you find most valuable. If you have a big bag of OVR, I suggest you listen to the end because you're not going to find information like this. So let's get into it.
Hello, thank you everyone for joining us today. This is our second Clubhouse event. What a way to start. We've got the COO and co-founder, Diego Di Tommaso. Did I pronounce that right, Diego?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So, yep, you've been on a roller coaster the last week.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to have you.
This is crypto, huh?
Yeah. And the first question I've got for you is, what is OVR?
Well, so thank you. First of all, thanks for having me here. So, basically OVR is a platform to build the geolocalized augmented reality and virtual reality experiences. In a more offensive way, we like to call ourselves the spatial web platform. So basically, what we aim to reach is to augment physical locations with information. And in this case, information is provided through augmented reality and virtual reality. So going more to some more visual, exemplification of what we do. Basically, what we can build on this platform is everything from gaming, AR gaming, like just to give an example, that could be, for example, Pokemon Go. We can build a Pokemon Go on our platform. And actually, we did something similar with the treasure hunt. And that was a huge success. So basically, you need to go in places, physically go in places and interact with these augmented reality objects in order to reach your goals. In our case, we are distributing our tokens in this way. And it was a huge success because people went physically to more than 190,000 places. So they also did some jogging. And another thing that you can build on our platform, it's like live events, for example. Another thing we've been working on lately is to be able to create avatars that can interact live with other people. So you can imagine, for example, to have a DJ that do a performance live with this avatar, and we can track all of his movements with like a motion tractor suit. And so you can see what the performer, the DJ, the singer is doing live, and seeing it with his avatar. And so interacting in the 3D space with that. Another thing that we can build, for example, is virtual retail. So you can build virtual shops, you can showcase products, you can build tourism experiences, like you can do like an historical reconstruction in augmented reality, or even in virtual reality. If you try our app, for example, now there is some examples of OVR Live, where you can get in a totally virtual place. So like, for example, in the Sistine Chapel, and just walk inside with your phone. And so basically, mostly our technology is focused on bringing these experiences on mobile phones, just because everybody has one of these in his pockets. But of course, we can also expand to VR goggles, and when will be available on the market, also, of course, to AR equipment like smart glasses. Like, for example, we are already working with Magic Leap, have some nice proof of concept over there. But of course, it's very cool to showcase it maybe at an exhibition and stuff like that. But I mean, our main focus is devices that people actually have and use. So the focus right now is building stuff that can run on mobile phones. And this is a very high level presentation of what we do.
If I can, hey Patch, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So just for the OVR uninitiated in the audience, just to give a brief overview, basically what OVR has done is it has taken the planet Earth, divided it up into 1.6 trillion hexagon-shaped patches of land. And then what it is doing on its metaverse platform is it is auctioning off and selling those patches of land. And then after OVR users buy those patches of land, they can either rent it out or build on it. And ultimately what it has done, the reason it's such an exciting project in my eyes is because it is really the first of its kind to create not only an augmented reality experience, because you can go to the actual location where you've purchased if you have access. If it's the middle of the ocean, that's one thing. But if it's down the block from your house, you can walk to that patch of land that you've purchased, and you can hold your phone up and experience an augmented reality experience through your phone and through augmented reality glasses as well. This metaverse allows for virtual experience as a separate function where you don't have to physically go to that place. And by the way, you can visit anywhere. You don't have to have owned the land in order to visit it, if I'm not mistaken. And,
absolutely.
And on your phone, you can visit a place anywhere on Earth and see what has been developed on that patch of land. And so if we're talking about the crypto space and the metaverse space in its very young stages that it is right now, you'd be hard-pressed to point to another project that has taken on this kind of scope with this kind of development. So I just wanted to mention that for people who are completely unaware of what OVR is.
Thanks. Yeah, good. Thanks, Harry, to point out that. I mean, I skimmed through very fast on that. So, I mean, basically, that is actually the real reason why we are in blockchain. Because you might ask yourself, I mean, we can build all that I was describing before just, on a centralized database. But basically, what is our goal is really to build a platform for the spatial web. So we needed a system in order to assign property and control to these geographic locations. Because a parallel that we like to do many times is like thinking about the web. So in the web, if you have a web domain, you own the web domain. You can control what experiences will be there. So in our case, we needed a system to assign control of spatial domains. So in order to do that, since this is a natively digital asset, we thought that the best way to assign control of that areas was on a blockchain. And so that's why we built this on Ethereum blockchain. So we decided to basically create non-fungible tokens for each one of these 300 square meters hexagons that cover the whole world. So if you own one of that hexagon, you will have control on what kind of experience people will have when we get over there. So, yeah, basically that is the idea and the reason why we are in the blockchain.
Amazing.
So, guys, so far it's been Patch, Diego, and Harry speaking. And now Diego is going to get into how OVR is going to become frictionless so people can start using their credit cards to buy land, because they're very cognizant of the fact that a lot of people who buy the land not necessarily want to be in the crypto space. This is a similar issue that Ikami ran into, and similar issue that NBA Top Shot has. So they've really accounted for this, and the fact that they're going to implement something that makes it frictionless makes it very bullish news to me.
Allow to people to buy what we call before OVR credits with credit card. And so in this way, we will open up the market to all those people that are not familiar with blockchain. They don't want to know about blockchain, but they want to participate in our ecosystem, for example, because they do understand the potential, even maybe they are not familiar with blockchain. So we will allow these people to buy the tokens, the credits actually, with credit card, and then basically to buy from the app, to participate from the app to the auctions. And so this is something, another important thing that we are building to expand our reach beyond the crypto community.
That's great. That's absolutely brilliant. Ari, did you want to say something? Or I was just going to touch up on...
No, yeah, I was just gonna respond by saying, I mean, right now, any project that is onboarding the masses into crypto without the masses even knowing that they're coming into crypto, I think is extremely important, because oftentimes there is a psychological barrier that can prevent people from involving themselves into crypto because of the things like having to create a MetaMask wallet or these other aspects that require some rolling up of the sleeves to really get into. So the idea that you guys on your site in the future are planning on having an ability to purchase land without having to have a working knowledge of crypto right off the bat. And then hopefully, of course, the hope is that those users will develop an interest in crypto and become more educated about the crypto space. But that initial step, I think, is where we're going to see projects begin to take on exponential adoption. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of examples now. So we always look at what others are doing better than us. No? And for example, what we are looking at with a lot of interest is that to So Rare. I guess you all know this project, and I mean they have like a huge amount of selling of these crypto cards with soccer players. And if you go to their website, I mean, basically, if you're a crypto person, of course, you can basically interact with MetaMask and so on. But if you're not, it's not a big deal. I mean, you just interact as you interact with any other website. You pay with a credit card, and that's it. So we would like to get to this kind of experience. So really, we would like to divide, I mean, the user experience for non-crypto people and crypto people. For the people, of course, that participate to the auction and so on. While, of course, for the people that just use the app, they don't need, of course, to know anything about crypto, because this app is just a browser on the AR and VR space. But so the goal is really to make something seamless also for non-crypto users. And this is, I think, the winning thing to do, because, I mean, the amount of people out there that are not into crypto is huge. So really, it's like a quick win for any crypto project that's starting having some traction to be able to onboard also users from the non-crypto community.
Fantastic.
Thank you for that. So, yeah, let me just mention. So for me, I discovered OVR around about the 14th to the 15th of March. I started doing some research. I was looking at low market cap coins, and I came across your coin. I really liked the volume. I really liked the way it was going. I was like, this coin is really interesting. Then I checked a few YouTube videos out, and I saw a virtual assistant. And I literally flipped the table, and I was like, oh my God, this coin is going to be a monster of a coin. I was so happy that I found your coin. And I just wanted to ask you, with the virtual assistant, where do you plan on rolling out your virtual assistant first, and why?
Yeah, so basically the virtual assistant is something that comes out from other know-how that we have inside our company. Now, I was mentioning you that basically my partner Davide is basically also a company that is working on artificial intelligence. And at the beginning, this company was working only on computer vision. But lately, in the last 2 years, we've been starting to work also on what is called NLP, that is natural language processing. And so we really are in love with this technology, and we always stay on top on the state of the art. And lately, lately in the last 2 years, something incredible happened in this space. So basically, Google opened up an algorithm that was called BERT, that is a kind of architecture. I mean, I don't want to annoy you too much, but it's a new kind of architecture of neural networks that on specific tasks, like for example on question answering, can perform better than humans. So don't get me wrong, it's not that you can ask them any questions, but on specific domain, if you give to these algorithms a specific knowledge, you can interrogate them with open questions, and these algorithms will answer better than a human with the same confined knowledge could answer to you. So you can check this out. The algorithm is BERT, and now BERT is even old now because 2 years passed, and we get to many other algorithms. So the idea is to basically allow the users to tap in this technology easily. So what we are going to provide is basically an avatar that you, of course, can personalize. You can change the face, the body, and so on. And behind this avatar, we have these NLP algorithms where basically you can feed the knowledge that you want. So let's say that you have a text with a knowledge about a product, about a company, about anything. You can feed this text inside our platform, and then basically this avatar will be able to answer to open questions on that. So of course the first that we will implement will be in English language, of course, because these algorithms are being trained on terabytes of data, of text, petabytes of text, I would say. And the most available text out there is English. So these algorithms perform very good in English. They also perform good in other languages, but English is the best one. So the first deployment of that will be in English language. And I mean, the use case, we didn't came out with the one that we will deploy yet, because we're going to be in 2-3 months. So it's not there yet, but probably we did some tests, for example, with retail. So we can give the knowledge to one of these avatars to describe the product or talk, for example, about the brand. That could be the first use case. Or another use case could be to use the avatar to, for example, mine the localized knowledge. So, for example, an idea that we had, and if you go through our white paper, we basically exploded that, is to build also what we called a public utility layer. Because now we were talking about selling these lands, but there is also, some content that is of public utility, like, for example, informations on public infrastructures, on public offices, on history of the place, on locations. So one idea was to build also an avatar that can explain you something about the location where you are. Like, for example, the avatar is at the Colosseum in Rome. It can basically tap into the knowledge that is stored in Wikipedia on that location. And you can ask them questions about the location. Because about these avatars, all about this NLP, is about giving them a confined knowledge. So it's like if you try to talk with Siri. Siri will not answer you very well, because basically is an algorithm that is trained to answer you to anything. And that is the most difficult task in computer science. This is the Turing test, basically, and no computer passed it yet. But another thing is if you ask questions on specific domains. So if you are in a location, you can ask the avatar information just about that location. And in that case, it will work. If you ask them to the avatar, to the AI, something totally broad, that of course will not work. And so, probably the first use cases will be about tourism. So telling about the location and, retail and brands. So telling about the brand, telling about a product, navigating in a space. So where is, maybe you are in a big space and you ask, sorry, where is that specific room? And so the avatar can understand the question and tell you where is the room. So will be narrow use cases, but probably these are the first 2-3 use cases that we're going to roll out.
So in terms of retail, if we look into retail and say I own a retail store, and do I have to own that specific land in the augmented reality to be able to use the virtual assistant, or say if that land's already bought up?
Oh yeah, I mean, as a user to experience it, of course, you don't need to own it. As a publisher, if you want to connect that experience to the location, of course, you need to own it or to rent it.
So, for instance, if I bought Harrods and Harrods wanted to use that technology on your platform, they'd have to contact me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, it doesn't really need to contact you because by default your land will be rentable. But once he rents it, you can go to him and say, look, if you want to keep that experience over there, you need to pay me more. And so we need to find an agreement. Yeah.
So the video I watched, the specific question was, where are the yoga pants? And then it showed the virtual assistant literally walked to the yoga pants and pointed that out. Is that exactly how it would work?
Of course, absolutely. That was, of course, a proof of concept, of course, and also that is that requires some more tooling, because basically in that case the avatar knew where it was specifically in a closed space, and this is a kind of art problem because of GPS signal. But you can obtain that by building a point cloud map of the location, scanning it with the phone. So that will be not viable immediately, but this is something that we have in the pipeline, and there's something also that is achievable with the technology that we have today.
So have you had any retail giants approach you? Because if this does end up being the next big thing, they're going to be stuck.
Well, right now we are not really looking for B2B use cases. So I would say no, but we are not really looking for that because, I mean, first we want to build a B2C use case and then onboard the B2B once we have a platform that actually has a little bit of critical mass in terms of users and also a lot of tooling. Because if right now we go to a B2B brand and they will ask, maybe a big brand, they will ask us to build something for them. Of course, it's super cool. We can announce a very nice news. But on our side, in terms of development of the project, that will eject our attention. So, I mean, I would say that for the next 3 to 6 months, we will really concentrate on building the base tooling. And from that time onwards, we will start actually welcoming and going towards brands that want to build on the platform.
Yeah, because for me, if I owned a retail space, I'd want to be approached first, and I'd want to purchase my own land before someone else did, rather than having to rent it out. And I feel like if you did that then gives you the opportunity to receive free marketing, because if I have a store and I've got that technology, I'm going to want to tell my people that are coming into my shop to buy products.
Absolutely.
On my staff, I'm going to want to tell them to download this app.
Absolutely. This is kind of happening like with some Hilton hotels. I mean, but I don't know if it's Hilton or not, but I know that some people is buying all the Hilton hotels. I mean, that's something that we believe will happen. But I mean, just right now we are not pushing on that. But of course, if you are a brand, if you are a visionary, you can have that idea. Like, for example, we was approached. Okay, I cannot give it the name, but we was approached from a very, one of the most important bookshops in Italy, and they are very advanced in terms of technology and so on, and they wanted to build a use case.
A library within a library, a virtual assistant library.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, correct. And so, like, for example, what we answered is, look, we cannot build it for you now. We will build it maybe in 3 to 6 months when we have the tooling. Be our guest in buying the locations, and I think that they are buying the locations. So yeah, of course, we are looking at other metaverses. We are looking at other projects, and of course, the top of the mind that come to us is like, for example, Decentraland. And like Decentraland, it has a 1.4 billion market cap. So, we believe, we are especially in augmented reality space because as you can look to all the predictions about the adoption of technology, and it's clear that augmented reality has a potential that is much, much more higher than VR. So, we believe that if we execute on our vision good enough, we can definitely at least point to, the capitalizations that we see for projects, comparable projects like Decentraland and others. So of course, that depends on how good we are in executing, because we are talking about these comparables, but these comparables, are out there since 3 to 4 years, and they had a lot of time to develop. We are very early right now, and we still have a lot of stuff to build. But I do believe that if we are able to execute as we planned, we can definitely aim to those kind of capitalizations. And of course, then the market decides, because also there is a kind of also irrationality in all of that. But we built toward that direction.
Yeah. Where's the roadmap for this? Who's got the roadmap? Have you got the roadmap back?
Sorry?
The roadmap.
Yeah, we have
the roadmap.
Yeah,
the roadmap. It's online.
Yeah,
it's
of
on
course.
Binance.
Yeah, of course, we have the roadmap in the white paper, we have the roadmap on the white paper, and then every month we come out with a more detailed one for what we're going to do in the next month. So, many times people point me to the roadmap and say, okay, exactly tell me what you're going to do in the next 6 months. So the truth is that we have, an high-level roadmap, but basically this ecosystem moves so fast that we need to change direction, every 2 to 3 months. Like, I just give you an example. So we was planning to be on Loom network for scaling. So 4 months ago, basically Loom network disappeared. The project was not there anymore. So, we are changing the direction. We have a main direction, and then we are changing it depending on the market conditions. But basically, I would say that the next big things that we have out there to come is, first of all, the integration that I mentioned to make this platform basically usable also for people that are not in blockchain. Then we have the builder that actually is coming out in the next week. The first version is a beta version, is an easy version. There will be not all the features that we imagine, but will be something that you already have out there, and you can start connecting the content. And basically from there, most of our effort, if I need to synthesize that, is to build the best possible builder so that is easy and also powerful. So not only it's easy to build the experiences for everybody, but the builder is powerful enough to build any experience that you can imagine, so also complex stuff. And the second big target is to bring adoption. So also if you see, for example, what we plan to spend in terms of marketing and so on, basically investors, when we was pitching our project, they were always telling us, guys, why are you spending so much on marketing? So basically, we plan to spend like from 60% basically of our budget in marketing. But why is that? Because of course, this platform only has value as long as it has users. So, our main goals, three goals, I would say. First, making the platform easy to use for everybody. Second, build a very good builder so that you can build super cool experiences. And third, find the best way to onboard users. So one of the strategies that we have, for example, to onboard users is to leverage these live events things that I was telling you about before. So so right now, to onboard the user, the cost of acquisition for us, making what we call brute force marketing, so marketing on Google, Facebook, app stores, and so on, is $0.5 per user. So we have already enough budget to go quite far with that, but we want to do it even better. So for us, this is our base cost. So we want to go below that. And in order to go below that, we will leverage, one of the ideas is to leverage live events. So just imagine that we can build a virtual live event with a famous artist in our platform. We will immediately onboard all of their fans to our platform just to look at that event. So what we're really also concentrating in the marketing terms is finding all the smart ways to onboard users for cheaper than $0.5 per user. So I would say these three are the main focuses, if you want to take this on a very high level. Then if you are interested in knowing specifically what you're going to plan to do, so basically at the beginning of each month, we publish the next month, plan. And on the white paper, you can see a more longer-term plan that, of course, could be changed a little bit.
And for those people in the crowd, you can access the website on OVR.ai. And if you click the white paper, it'll give all the details.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, both in English and Chinese, if you like Chinese.
Yeah, Diego. So, are you open to any partnerships at the moment, like i.e. Apple, Microsoft? I've seen on their website they've got their own kind of augmented reality glasses coming out. Apple's going to be releasing one soon. I did hear you mention Magic Leap. That's not available over here. I know it's available over in China and Hong Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. We are absolutely open to collaborate with any of these tech giants. And also, we've been working a lot to build, of course, we don't have direct relationship with them, but to build some good network between our advisors. In the first year, it was in 2018 when we started the project. Our vision is very, ambitious. So we decided to try to bring on board, people that could help us later on in the roadmap. So we've been quite lucky because we onboarded Mattia Crespi. That is basically, I knew him through PwC. And basically, he is, I would say, one of the most, the biggest experts on VR that we have in Europe, I guess. And basically, he has been the number one person on, the first one person in VR. And so he brings us to the States, and we was able to onboard some very good advisors. We've been talking also with Philip Rosedale from Second Life, because this guy basically was is sitting in the advisory board of the company with Mattia Crespi. And Mattia Crespi, of course, was one of the first promoters of Second Life in Italy, long time ago. You remember, Second Life was more than 10 years ago, but was a huge success, and they are visionaries. So basically, we try to build some good relations over there. And, for example, we onboarded Sean Ness, that is basically the business developer on Institute for the Future. Institute for the Future is a very niche consulting company, a think tank, I would say, based in Palo Alto, that basically is consulting all the top 500 companies. So we have those people onboarded, and of course, it's not that tomorrow they will bring me Google or Apple or so on. But once we have a project a product that is interesting enough, and we have enough critical mass with users, those contacts will be very, very useful to get in touch with these big tech companies. So, we start building this thing big, maybe even too big at the beginning. But I believe that we have a lot of key people that will really be able to help us to get to those people, because it's not that they phone you. No, I mean, you really need somebody to help you, maybe to go to them and to meet them and to understand what you can do to be attractive to them.
It's interesting, you, Diego. You guys have an interesting chicken or egg conundrum in front of you. That you're, do you build the critical mass first and then approach companies for partnerships, or do you approach the partnerships first, which in turn could build critical mass? I think you guys are going about it the right way, in that being able to prove to potential partnerships that this has a massive base is I think what will be attractive to the partnerships. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to think that basically those people, those big companies, it's thousands of people that every day are knocking on their doors and say, look, I have a wonderful idea and I want to build this. But at the end of the day, also these big companies, they are practical people. And so tell me, okay, cool, you have an idea, but showcase me. Have you done something? Show me the project. Show me something. Show me the product. So, and also, I tell you this because, right now, we have a huge amount of requests from B2B, and we are not taking those, of course, because we are concentrating on building the project, the scalable project. But
let me ask you real quick, just Diego, sorry, real quick for the audience. Sorry to interrupt. Can you define real quick B2B versus B2C?
Oh, yeah. So B2B basically is, it's a company that comes to you and say, look, I would like to build this specific use case. I don't know. Like, for example, 6 months ago, a company came to us and told us, look, guys, I saw your app. I was in love with your treasure hunt. Can you build that for me? And we say, of course, yes, we can do that. And of course, this is the cost, and let's do that. So for us, it was a very marginal cost, and we built it for them. And they have a vertical. They are not integrated in OVR. They have their own app where they can do a treasure hunt, basically using our technology. Our platform itself is not as nothing more from that kind of business that we built. So when I say B2B, actually, I mean all of the developments that we include in the app, and basically is usable by all the users of the app. So not only for a specific company that built his own vertical use case with his own app, but bring it inside our platform. So our goal right now is to bring everything inside our platform and not be distracted by somebody that tell us, okay, please build. I saw that you are very good in building this technology. Please build something specific for me. We say, no. We build this for ourselves. We build this for our platform. Then if you want, you will be able to use our platform and to build on top of that. So basically, our focus is to go out of this way of thinking where, of course, you can make quick money by building a use case with the technology that you already have in-house, but doesn't bring you any more value to the platform vision that you have. So, yes, maybe B2C is a little bit reductive. I should call it B2B2C. So basically, platform versus custom development. So we are fully focused on platform, and we don't want to do custom developments. And so that's why I was mentioning to you that if a player come to us, established company come to us, and they want to build something, we say, yes, we can build something, but it needs to be built on our platform. It's not that we are going to build something specific for you using our technology, because it's not where our vision is bringing us. I hope I was clear.
Oh, 100%. And I'm guessing that the base foundation for that is first to do the plot sales so that can gain critical mass, so that then things can be built on, experiences can be built on top of that, gaining more critical mass, thus being able to approach companies and say, look at this more full-bodied metaverse that we've developed here that can have already so many use cases aside from just having someone come into your shop and buy something.
Absolutely. Because you have many, like, for example, you built you want to build a virtual shop. So, okay, you built the virtual shop inside our platform. But what if you can also attach some kind of treasure hunt thing where you can go in places and collect tokens, and if you go in that places, then you have a discount. I mean, if you can gamify the experience through what we have in the platform. So, I mean, the more tools that we provide to inside of this platform, the most value you can extract from this platform when you are you can leverage from this platform, I would say, if you are a company or if you are somebody that want to build something on that. If we allow to create avatars, if we allow to easily create AIs that are inside of your shop, I mean, this is more value that we bring on the table. So the critical mass is about all of the tools that we actually are able to build and provide and give out of the box from people. Because also when I talk about this project with people with, a business-oriented mind, no? So they always ask me, Diego, but why are you building this? I tell them, look, very easy, because I want that when somebody will think about building something in augmented reality connected to a location, he will have two choices. One is building this from scratch, going maybe to some company and say, please build me the viewer, build me the builder, build me the geolocalization thing. Or it can come to me and use my platform for free, basically. Of course, not for free, just paying all the fees for the platform itself. So what really we're trying to build is an horizontal platform so that anybody that will ever want to build an AR experience will have to think and say, okay, should I do it from scratch or should I use all the technology that OVR is providing? So if people, when we will have to build some AR or VR, will make this question to himself, we will have win. No? So that is the goal. So build some platforms so that people will need to have a choice. So really go from the easy way with OVR on build everything from scratch. That is the goal.
Gotcha. Yep.
Diego, it seems like from what I can see and what you've been saying over and over again, your number one focus is the tech and the user experience. And you guys are very cognizant of the fact that digital real estate is very, very hot. And you guys have two audiences. You have the crypto world and you have the people where you want to make it frictionless for them to be able to buy land. Currently, you can buy land when you go to the website. For the people in the crowd, will there be any opportunities where land will ever be on a discount by any chance?
Well, not really on a discount because, the base price for the land actually is very low. So it's $10. And also we put this price because we wanted this really to be, a layer that everybody can use. So if you want, for example, to buy the land in your backyard, an experiment, you don't have to pay $2,000 to buy the land. You just pay $10 and you do your tests. If you want to buy a land that is very famous, for example, nearby the Colosseum, of course, you will need to pay. So if there is somebody else that wants it. So not really a discount because the discount, it's really base price. So what we did at the beginning, and we're still doing basically, is that at the beginning of the month, people that are purchasing the lands, like the first 1,000, the first 500, they will have some cashback. So I think that this month, the next month will be like 65 or 55% cashback. And so if the first 500 people that buy the land will have some cashback, but it's just a small promotion to create some buzz. So for the rest, we stay with the base price of $10 for all the lands. And also what we're going to do in the next days is that basically the base price will stay $10. But if you're buying a land in a location where already many other people have bought, like, for example, if you draw a circle around your land that you want to buy, and around that, 50% of the lands have been bought. So it means that area is requested, and so the price will be a little bit higher. So actually, it's the opposite. Not really doing discounts, but we're really a little bit increasing the price of the land.
That's very great. Cool. Just moving on now from the whole land discussion, I want to talk about the IBCO, how it works. How do you see it becoming widely adopted in the foreseeable future in the crypto market? Do you believe other cryptocurrencies will take this on board? What securities it offers its investors? And just how the whole structure works and why you chose to use it.
Yeah. So this is something that we are quite happy about. So basically the IBCO is our answer to the failure of ICO, basically. So we've been through, of course, the whole 2017 craze, and I mean, we see what happened with the projects and how also the public was discouraged about investing on a pure ICO. And I mean, there is reasons for that, because a pure ICO have many risks, and I would describe this in three main categories, So one risk is the pricing of the token. So, of course, when you launch an ICO, a traditional ICO, you basically create a certain number of tokens and you assign a price, expecting that is the price of your token, that is the fair price for your token. But you cannot really know that. And, of course, you're biased. So usually what will happen that you will overprice the tokens. And so then when the market will kick in, the price will be destroyed. It's going to go down. So that is the first problem. The second problem is the liquidity problem. Because, of course, let's say that you raise 10 millions. So how many of these 10 millions will you put in the market? Of course, the less the better, because money that are in your pocket, and maybe are also used to develop the project, but are not there to create the market. And so maybe you will leave just 1 million out of the 10 that maybe you raised. So the liquidity will be very thin. And if there is some selling pressure, your price will go super down. So that is another problem. And the third problem, of course, is the risk of having a rug pull. So people just running away from with the money. So because of that, I mean, we was trying to understand what would be the best way to raise funds with a methodology that can actually give a little bit more assurance to the buyers. Of course, they're still taking a huge risk because this is a startup, a very experimental project. But I mean, at least technically, a better way to raise money. And so basically, we've been studying what was around. We've been reading all about with Vitalik Seg about DICOs and so on. And also, we was very fascinated about these new AMMs and algorithmic markets. So we came across this framework that was built from Aragon, that is called Aragon Black. That basically is the framework for the IBCO that we used. And also, before us, the only project that we know that we use it was Avegocci. That also use it, and they're quite happy about that. So basically, the way it works is the following. So we started with a very, very low price. So because the idea is that we don't know the price, we will ask to the market what is the price of our token. So the price at the beginning was 0.07, and the tokens. A part of the tokens is pre-minted, and of course this is all declared on the white paper. But the part of token that we sell to the public immediately are not minted. Basically, those are created only if somebody wants to buy it. So basically, this is an AMM controlled by the Bancor formula, and basically this AMM creates the tokens if somebody wants to buy it, and destroys the token if somebody sells it. So the interesting thing is that from day zero, you can both buy and sell the tokens. And so also, you avoid the fact that you sell the tokens with ICO and then maybe you will list somewhere and then maybe let's see what happens with the price. No, from day zero, you can both buy and sell the token. And so you really let the market decide how many tokens will be out there and what will be the price. And why is that? Because also this bonding curve mints the tokens, but while every new token costs more of the former. So also the emission curve decreases exponentially. So while the price grows, let's say, linearly or exponentially, the amount of tokens that are minted decreases. So basically, for example, in our case, right now, I think that it's like 20 million tokens that are being minted. So when we reach $10, only 30 million tokens in total will be minted. So after a certain amount of price, the emission curve gets very, very flat. If you're familiar with something similar to what happens with Bitcoin with emission, no? So emission gets exponentially smaller and basically becomes flat at the end. So at $10, there is this inflection point where basically the emission goes flat. And so the interesting thing about this IBCO is that it basically absorbs liquidity. So right now, for example, we have 14 millions in liquidity inside of this IBCO. And if you want to sell the tokens, of course, you can sell it on Uniswap, you can sell it on any market, but basically the most liquid market remains the IBCO. So to give an idea, now there is 14 millions. So this is like having 28 millions in liquidity inside of Uniswap. And so this is a huge reserve of value for people that want to sell that actually protects the price. Like, to give an example, if you follow the price of the token, in the last week, we had a dip, no? We went from $3.10, something like that, to 2.20. So kind of like, say, 25% dip, something like that. And the interesting thing is that the amount of liquidity that was sold is huge. So basically, 4 millions, there was $4 million that was sold. So, I mean, the net value of tokens that was sold was $4 million, 4 million USD. So just try to think of any project out there with our market capitalization. What would happen to that project if $4 million in dollars was sold? I mean, the price would went to like minus 90%, because no project out there has so much liquidity to protect the price. So, of course, it's not all of roses. So there is also a trade-off to this. So the price goes down slowly, but also goes up slowly, because, of course, this bonding curve absorbs liquidity when the price is going up. And so it slows down the price movements. But yet, I mean, we believe that this is still very beneficial, because we don't really like, at least like external observers, this project that do very fast pump and dumps, because, I mean, people get burned, of course, and also because, you know, it doesn't give any stability to the project. So we are quite happy about that, even if I have to say that we have some people in the community that ask us to basically stop this IBCO because they want the price to go to the moon faster and so on. So, I mean, we don't really, even if we like this system, we are not really in love with that. And also, of course, if we stop the IBCO, we cash in all the collateral. So right now, if we stop the IBCO, we cash in 14 millions. Because basically right now, we cannot withdraw from the IBCO. So the maximum we can withdraw from the IBCO is 50K per month. So basically it's peanuts if compared to the amount of liquidity. But if we stop it, of course, we can bring out all the liquidity. So, I mean, we don't really, both for us is good, because also bringing all the liquidity back to us is good. But we would prefer this to stay open. So if we have a lot of requests, we will spin out a vote. Basically, the IBCO can be stopped by a vote from the token holders. But I think that at the end of the day, I know that there is some people asking for that, but I don't think that it will be the majority of people that want to stop it. And I don't know, is it clear? Because I know that there's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is. It's that was clear. And just to clarify for anyone who's confused about IBCO, stands for Initial Bond Curve Offering. It's a different way of minting and placing value on a token, and ultimately it provides, in many ways, it provides a safety net from a lot of the things that bad actors in the space have done, including rug pulls, drastic pump and dumps. So the IBCO is a model that a lot of people look on quite favorably because of the safety it brings with it, and also the direct relationship with the demand and the interest in the project. The more interest and more demand there is, the more the token sells, the more the value of the token is based on that, as is the minting mechanism.
Yeah, and also about maybe another part of the question was if other projects will adopt it, or if this will be the future now. So about that, I don't really know, because there is of course a trade-off over here, because out of those 40 millions that are now on the bonding curve, we can take out very few, and so projects that doesn't have sales would suffer a lot from that. In our case, that is not a big problem because, of course, we do already have sales. So we are selling those lands, and we are selling a lot of those. Minimum in the last month, we've been like 2,000 per day, and maximum have been like 12,000. So I would say that like 3,000 to 4,000 is normal per day. And you have to think that 3,000 to 4,000, if we imagine that all of the lands goes out for $10. That is not the case, actually. That is $40K per day. So, we don't really have a problem with funding and liquidity right now, but I do understand that if you have a project that is just, let's say, at the stage of vaporware, so of course at the stage where you just have the white paper, you don't have a product out there, don't have nothing to sell, probably this mechanic of funding could be problematic because, basically you don't have that huge amount of liquidity that can help you to really push forward the project. So I think that is a very good, funding mechanic. Of course we are biased, but we think that is the best one out there. But if you have revenues, if you don't have revenues, at least you need to tweak this tech mechanic where you can withdraw the tokens from the IBCO at a higher level, like maybe 100K or more per month. For the rest, I guess that this should be the way to go for all the projects that can generate revenues from day zero.
When it comes to digital real estate, and for everyone listening in the crowd, you can download the OVR app on your phone. But when it comes to digital real estate, whenever I invest into something or I look into a project, I like to see its utility and what it's going for. And what I love about OVR is that there is just so much emphasis on the user experience and the tech. And that's the reason that I invested in it. And a lot of these things are making me excited when you talk about avatars and being able to rent my own space or even buy my own backyard space. Those are things that, for me, that shows value, that shows proof of concept. And I love using the app every day. I would definitely recommend everybody check out the application.
Yeah. Thank you. We're very focused on the development side, and in fact, I'm sorry if I'm not so. My answers on the price maybe sometimes are not so exciting, but we really focus. Of course, we look the price every day, like everybody, but we really have a big focus on building. In fact, also we are just building up the team. We just hired other 4 people in the last 3 weeks. And so we're really, really getting crazy about executing this vision. So it's kind of complicated to put all these people together and to work together on a big engineering. When you have many different tasks in parallel, it gets messy very, very fast. And so, yes, basically, really, most of our time is right now is focused on building the tech. And of course, also we try to push on marketing, and we are doing quite a good job. But I would say that really the main focus and where we feel more strong right now is is the development side. Even if, as I mentioned, we believe that, of course, the marketing is probably even more important. And so in terms of resources, we are dedicating even more resources in terms of monetary resources to marketing that in development right now.
Got a quick question from Lazo. I believe some of it's been answered, but Lazo is a member of this group as well. He's not on the stage at the moment, but he texted me a quick question, which is, how does the project plan on expanding and growing market cap?
Yeah, at the end of the day, market cap in our vision, it's about the number of people that you onboard on the project. And all of the activity that we are doing right now is working quite well because, a metric that we always look at, is the amount of new wallets that are created that basically own OVR. So our main focus right now is on spreading the knowledge about this project, and we know that every time that we talk about this project, we have somebody really getting it and getting on board with our project. So I guess that the market cap will be just a consequence of the amount of people that know about the project and start using it, testing it, maybe buying also just a small amounts of tokens. But once they are onboarded and they get in the loop of news and stuff, we have a huge push up in our capitalization, because of course at the end of the day is all about how many people own your tokens. And also another important metric that we also always look at is this amount of lands that we sell. The reason why, again, we wanted to give a low price, at least a low entry point for the lands. We have, competitors. I will not give the names because I don't like to talk bad about competitors, but that have different strategies, like selling single parcels with very high price. So we don't want to do that because we want to democratize the access to this platform. So doing that, we will allow more and more people to get in, and this, of course, will in turn bring up the price of the token. So the other metric that we also always look at is not only to the number of holders of the token that right now is 9,000. I remember it was 2,500 maybe 1 month ago, because I remember that we needed to reach 2,500 to get our token symbol on Uniswap. So we was always looking at that. So really, it has been growing very well in the last time. But not only this metric that is about actually the people that is speculating maybe on the token, not only long-time holders, but also here there are speculators, of course, that could also crash the price. We think that the long-term support for the value of our token is also all the people that buy the land. And because those tokens that are used to buy the lands, they go away from the market. They go away from the market because we do not actually resell all of them. So we resell almost 50% of those. So they don't get back to circulation, really. And so what does this mean? This means that basically the more land sales we generate, the more we subtract liquidity from the market. And we know how beneficial this is for a price standpoint. So, I would say, again, to wrap it up and close the question, so two things. So one, spreading the word about the project, because I think that still few people know about us. And so onboarding new holders, new people that have the token in their MetaMask. And two, keeping pushing also with this narrative and with the value that we can bring on the lands, because also this will help to take away liquidity from the market and sustain the price.
Excellent. Pat, I'll throw it back to you. Great answer.
So I've just got one more thing to say. And then, anyone else wants to ask a question, they can ask after. I just wanted to ask, as a community, how can we help OVR grow as OVR investors?
Oh, well, I mean, there's definitely, all the participation with the community. So from, of course, the more basic things, of course, spreading the word about the project is something that, of course, is very helpful, very basic, but very helpful. But I think that the most valuable thing is once, of course, we give the instruments to that, is to bring value to the platform in terms of trying to build on the platform. Because, of course, this is very similar to any social network or so on. The real value, we are just putting there some instruments, but the real value comes from the users that actually built on top of this infrastructure. Different from the other infrastructure like Facebook and so on, where everything is owned from Facebook. In this case, they really own also the assets and the lands and the things where they built on. But yet, the real value of this platform will be the contents that will be on the platform. So, and the usage of the platform. So, I guess that besides, of course, spreading the word about the project, really using and try to use and helping us with feedbacks about what we do not in the right way, what we can do better, is the best way, to really push forward this project. So, use it and build on that. That is the best thing that, community can do.
And do you feel like there's anything holding you back in terms of development? Are governments on side?
So, I would say, in terms of development, there's nothing really that holds us back. The only thing, of course, is the complexity of building bigger and bigger teams. But that's what we're doing and what we are going to execute. So that doesn't worry me too much. Of course, the most difficult thing, of course, is to onboard a big and wide audience. So that is the hard part. The development part, it's hard, but it's something, more straightforward. In terms of governments, this is a good question. And I would say that right now, I cannot give the big news, yes, I have this or that government. But this is something that we are working on, and we think that we will bring it home. And this is something very important, and I touched a little bit this point before, is the point about this public utility layer. So we imagine two main layers for OVR. So a layer that is the private layer, so you buy the land and you build whatever you want over there. And then there is the public utility layer. So there are some things that also in the physical world cannot be built by individuals, because they go beyond the interest of individuals, and the individuals would not coordinate to build that. And because of that, we have all the public goods and the public structures. So we envisioned that governments could use our technology and build contents without buying the lands, of course. Build contents that are of public utility. So, as I mentioned before, information of public utility. All of the augmenting, all of it you can build with augmented reality to serve the citizens and so on. So, we are actually working on that side, not directly me or Davide, but actually Mattia Crespi. That is our CSO. Is our the person that was telling you about that has all the contacts also in Silicon Valley, is actually working on trying to onboard the first governments to use our infrastructure to give public services to their citizens in terms of information in augmented reality. So this is something that we don't have yet, but we are working towards, and we think will be a critical factor of success. Because you understand that if this app is not only used for, brands or people playing games, but is also something that maybe some government is using to deliver some kind of services to their citizens, and well, this is huge. So so basically, we are working on that, and especially Mattia Crespi, and also always speaking with our advisor on J.H. Klippinger, that is the founder of the Media Lab in MIT, and is very, very focused on these community-based activities and all the stuff that can actually merge the virtual and the physical world to help communities. They are working on that direction. So we are maybe more focused on the B2B2C side that I mentioned, and we have Mattia and Klippinger that are going that direction. So yes, if we score one of these collaboration with governments, that would be great. And I guess that we can do that. Of course, we will not do that with the United States from day zero, but I guess that we can start working maybe with more advanced, not what I would say advanced, more prone to experimentation governments, like for example Emirates, Dubai, or other more countries that really focus on technology. So that is another important thing that in the long-term vision of this platform, we would like to bring home.
Yeah, I believe Dubai would be a perfect country, just in terms of the retail virtual assistant. They've got the hotels and massive retail giants out there. I really do think that'll be brilliant out there. One last question I've got for you: Can we hope to see OVR listed on a top 3 major exchange this year? Do you believe? And what would it take? What would the market cap? What would it need to be?
Well, this is an important question that also we ask ourselves many times. Basically we already applied both for Bitfinex and Binance. Of course, we would love to be on Binance because it's the number 1 exchange, and so we need to see what happens. But of course, the fact of being there depends on our success. So if you asked me this question 1 month ago, I would tell you, well, I don't know, it could be difficult. But if you ask me now, I am quite optimistic. Of course, it doesn't depend totally on me, and so I cannot be too sure about what I say. But the performance that we had, the last days has been huge. We have been generating a volume of $24 million on Uniswap. And that is huge. If you look at projects, another project, like for example, we always look at, for example, Decentraland. Decentraland was nowhere near to that kind of volume in the last days. And if you look at this volume on Uniswap, again, is not quite near to that. So we was number 1 on CoinGecko 1 week ago on the researches. So I will say that definitely there is the chance that we are going to be there because we are generating very good traction. Of course, we need to keep doing that, and so that is not easy. But I would say that we have all of the characteristics to be able to get that, because of course they look on how many people they have in the community, what is the volume. But at the end of the day, the volume is it doesn't lie. The volume of centralized exchanges lie a lot. I guess that all the people that is in the crypto space knows that basically 90% of volumes reported by centralized exchanges are fake, especially from tier 2 exchanges. I don't want to talk about Binance, Coinbase, Kraken. Probably they have the real ones. But if we go down in the rankings, believe me, those volumes are not real. So, but Uniswap volumes are real because nobody can fake those, because it's too expensive to do. Because as we mentioned before, a transaction costs $40. You cannot fake that volume. It would be very costly. So I think that if we keep delivering this kind of traction and volumes, it's definitely possible for us to get to these big exchanges. Then, of course, there is the problem of the fee, because usually they have huge hosting, huge fees to get in. But I mean, we are prepared to pay that if we have this opportunity, because of course, we all know how massive it is to go in a tier 1 exchange for a project like us. And so yeah, I would say that that's definitely possible. And I mean, we are not actively be listed in any other second tier exchanges. I mean, the last one we are going to be, actively collaborating is Gate.io. That will be in the next 3 days. But then for the rest, we just aim for tier 1. So Binance, Bitfinex, those in the top 5 are what we're aiming to. And I think that if we keep delivering like we are doing, we definitely have good chances together.
I think the Gate.io is very, very exciting. And just to let people in the crowd know, 30 days ago, and Diego is being very humble and honest, and he's been talking about the tech and the system and the roadmap. But just 30 days ago, we're talking about a 40-cent OVR, and we got all the way up to over $3. And yeah, it's been surging. If you check out CoinGecko, like he said, they're number 1 in search last week. When Bitcoin and Ethereum was going down, OVR was on a surge. It didn't care. But if you guys type in how to buy OVR on Uniswap, the first video show up will be mine, and it'll be easiest way to purchase it. View this as an opportunity when you can purchase something before it becomes mainstream, especially when the tech, the augmented reality, and the VR it's beautiful when you use it. And the fact that they're not rushing it, it doesn't look like Diego's in a rush. Their tech has really moved them. And that's something for everyone to do their own due diligence and to look into the project. And don't view it only being on Uniswap as an impediment. View that as an opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, Harry, for your words. Very kind. Thank you.
Thank you. So, guys, what do you want to do? Does anyone want to ask any more questions, or can we bring up some people from the audience?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea if we could bring up some people from the audience to ask.
Okay, I thought we were going to bring up the first 5 people, because I don't want to inundate Diego. We've been online for like 2 hours now. So,
Hey everyone, that was an hour-and-a-half interview with Diego. If you guys enjoyed that information, definitely subscribe and click the bell button to make sure you receive this time-sensitive information. If you have any questions for Diego, please comment in the description below so that I know what you guys want to ask. If he's gracious enough, maybe we'll have him on this YouTube channel and do another interview. But a lot of things that he touched up on was Gate.io, Binance Smart Chain. You know, you can go on Pancakeswap, you can go on Uniswap, you can get OVR. They're selling land, they're making it frictionless. They're talking about AI and so much more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for those of you that stayed till the end, I hope you gained a lot of value. But yeah, guys, hopefully we can do more of these, and thanks for watching. Nothing's more valuable than your time except your money, and I'll see you next time with some more gems.